quickly. I think the host has to let me share. First of all, thank you everyone for being here. I know it's a Saturday morning. It's 10:30. It's pretty early for me. I love to sleep in on Saturdays, but I'm just really happy that everyone's here. Okay, so let's get started. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. So yeah, hi, my name is Radhika. I'm an Indian American Agile product owner, digital strategy consultant, outreach director for Global Girlhood, and a content creator based in New York City. So you guys have been hearing a lot about Global Girlhood, and you're probably asking yourself, what exactly is Global Girlhood? So just a little background on Global Girlhood. We're a global community that uses storytelling to revolutionize representation in media, education, and leadership. So growing up, I come from an Indian background, so we didn't really share a lot of stories, but I did get a project in class once that I had to ask my mom. I had to interview her, ask her about, her journey coming to the States and how all of that was. And I realized the power of storytelling and that I want to be able to pass these stories and use storytelling to share knowledge, spread information, and continue that legacy that we've created. So that's really the foundation of Global Girlhood. We have a journalist and a connectivity contributor model. So our journalists are simply journalists. They'll go out in their communities, they'll talk to the folks in their communities and gather those stories, stories of empowerment, stories of what they've learned. And then we have connectivity contributors. So these are the folks that around the world, they'll figure out, they'll get the story from our journalists and then react to these stories. So we're creating and facilitating this intersectional type of interaction and collaboration between different cultures, different backgrounds from all across the world. So that's a little about Global Girlhood. And I think one of the key parts that I love about Global Girlhood is that it's international, and I love being part of this international community. So I wanted to share a few things that I've learned from Global Girlhood and how it's impacted me and my life. And I think this can, again, it can help anyone, regardless of what industry you're in, where you are at. So the first item that I'd like to touch upon is absorbing information and sharing information. So one of our key features at Global Girlhood is we're absorbing information by figuring, asking people their stories. And again, through these stories, we're learning so much information. And then from that information, we're again sharing this on our digital platform. So this not only holds true for Global Girlhood, but it also holds true for me. So right now I'm a sponge. I feel like everyone should just be a sponge. You should really understand everything. You should try different things. In college, I was, part of a lot of clubs on campus, leadership development, and I just wanted to learn a lot. Especially right now when you're not really sure. If you're not sure what you want to do, I think just trying out a lot of things is the best way to really understand what your future world is going to look like. So this is one of our key mantras and my personal mantras. And so just an example of what this looked like for Global Girlhood on the left. This is one of the posts we had, because again, we're an Instagram-based platform. So we talked a lot about, LGBTQIA+ history. And these are things that, again, we didn't know in school, and we did heavy research, and we were able to share this with our platform. By no means are we educators on this. We're again sharing information that we've learned. And through this, we just wanted to share this with our community. And again, we're always open for feedback. And then on the right, this is actually something I created in December. This was a reflecting and goal setting workshop that I created in 2021 for 2021. And I use this to share on my personal Instagram. And this was really helpful because, again, I was using information that I learned and that was around me. And I wanted to, again, share this with my fellow peers. Moving on to my next point, finding your passion and your niche is super important. So I personally struggled with, figuring out my passion, but while being a sponge and just learning a lot about different industries, different techniques, I was able to figure out that my passion simply is just helping others and sharing resources. And that, again, it was amplified through my role at Global Girlhood. And something else that really will help you differentiate yourselves from others is finding that niche. So what exactly about your passion is different, right? How can you use the resources you've had, your personal experiences to create that niche for yourself? Now, this might be a bit hard at first, but you'll realize that through your lived experiences, you each have a different niche and that you are an expert in some field. And I truly believe that. And so this is something that we've, incorporated a lot at Global Girlhood. So this is one of our posts that we had. We used the journalist. We interviewed someone. Her name is Erlinda, and we used her interview piece. We used our connectivity contributor responses, and then we also tied it back to AOC. So something that I love what Global Girlhood does is that we have a niche. What our niche is, that we try to use these stories that we've created and that we've gathered, and we try to connect it to events that are happening in the real world. And so this, again, creates that niche because we're putting out information that doesn't already exist. Because right now, you can see that information is super powerful. We're getting overloaded by information in a lot of different areas. And so it's one, you should be okay with putting out information that may not be completely correct, but you should also be okay with putting out information that isn't repetitive, because again, you don't want to dilute information or take that space from someone else. And so that's a little about, how finding your passion and your niche flows into Global Girlhood, and then also personally for me. The next point I want to touch upon is appreciating and leveraging the digital community. So a little background on Global Girlhood. The idea of Global Girlhood itself came in July 2019, and then we officially launched in December 2019. And then, of course, in March 2020, we were all on lockdown, New York City. I'm based in New York City, so we were not able to leave our houses. And so we really had to think about, how do we want to leverage our digital community? And for lack of better words, the lockdown really made us hone into our mission and hone into how we can really leverage our international community. And so one of the things that we've done was on the right, you can see that we've created this FaceTime and Friends campaign. So basically this was right in March when we realized, okay, we're going to be stuck at home for a while. So how can we facilitate this international community that we've created? So on the left, you can actually see that's a map of all of our Global Girlhood journalists and our connectivity contributors and our board members. And so we have about 92 journalists across 84 cities and 72 connectivity contributors across 64 cities. And so what I really love is that we really do have a global footprint in about a little more than a year. And so we really want to use this international community. And I have to say, a lot of the friends that I've made the past year have been through cold calling, FaceTiming them randomly, finding them through this digital community. And I think that part is so, so beautiful, because I would not have met or known so many people if it wasn't for Global Girlhood or if it wasn't for the digital impact. So I definitely would say to leverage that digital community that we have fostered and that we've learned, and we've are able to live through this digital community right now. So again, I'm speaking through Zoom right now. And like the most powerful part about that is I may not have met you guys in person. And so again, to really leverage that international community has helped me a lot, and it can definitely help others as well. And lastly, on my last point, I want to touch upon reevaluating your passions and needs on a quarterly basis is super important. So what exactly do I mean by that? Last summer, I just graduated college. I was about to start my full-time job. I was still working with Global Girlhood, but I found myself procrastinating a lot. And I realized that procrastination really comes and stems from just feeling like you're just putting off work that you may not be passionate about, or something you're doing work that's not exciting you. And so I realized that this was a problem that I was having, and I just felt like I just had a lack of motivation. And so I asked myself these questions. I was like, okay, what excites me? Why did I start this in the first place? What about this work is stressing me out? Because I realized that there was definitely something about the work that was stressing me out. That is why I was pushing it off for later. And then again, what could I do to enjoy my work again? So after reevaluating a lot of where I was after college, I asked myself these questions, and I was able to get a better stand of, okay, this is what I'm doing right now that I don't like, and so I made an effort to change it. And so my role at Global Girlhood changed a lot. I had to drop a few responsibilities, because again, like, you want to be putting out information and being in a community that's facilitating your happiness and you're motivated. And that may mean a break, that may mean stepping away. So just asking yourself these questions, and again, reevaluating your needs on a constant basis is super important to ensure that you're providing the most effort and impact to wherever you want. So on that note, I know I spoke a lot. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for listening to me again, for joining on a Saturday morning. If you want to contact me, you can contact me at Radhika Kalani at outlook.com. We can set up a meeting. I love talking to folks, whatever you need. And you can also follow my personal Instagram. And on that note, I'll open it up for Q&A.
What age did you start this program?
Let's see, I'm 23 right now, so it started 2 years ago. I was 21. Yeah.
So did you decide to do it when you were in college, or did you not go to college at all?
Yeah, great question. So I started it in my I was going to my senior year in college. So I had one more year left, and I kind of had an epiphany. I was like, okay, I'm stepping away from college. How can I still help out with the global community and still be connected, even though I was very active on club life at college. So I wanted to continue that. And so I did go to college, and this idea came by the beginning of my senior year.
Is there like a minimum age to be a contributor?
No, we accept everyone. I can send out the information on how to sign up, and you can go to our website, globalgirlhood.org, and you can sign up directly. There really is no requirement. We just ask that you're active, and you can, we'll find like a place for you in our community for sure. Oh, I see. There's comments in the chat. Okay, let's see. What led you to start this program, and how did you get people to notice the program? Great question. So what led us to start the program? So the founder, Pranjal, I actually knew her from elementary school because our parents actually used to work together in a weird way, and we had each other on Instagram. And again, I think that shows the power of community, because I would not have been in constant touch with her unless I had her on Instagram. And so I think the reason that I wanted to be a part of Global Girlhood was, again, I wanted to create that space for others to share their story. I think my mom's story is very, very beautiful. When my dad came to the States, he told me over the summer that he was actually living in a 1-bedroom with 6 other people, and like traveling back and forth from India because me and my mom, we were all there. And so just that concept of being able to share these stories is super powerful. And like, let's reclaim our voices, right? A lot of stories are not told by us. A lot of stories get diluted in the mix. And so again, we want to emphasize our stories because they make us us. And how did I get people to notice the program? We used, honestly, social media as our way to spread our resources and share our mission. And again, using our own personal networks. So constantly talking about Global Girlhood and seeing how we can use Global Girlhood in different mediums, reaching out to magazines, doing a lot of work. And I can definitely dive more into this personally as well. And other question is, what's the most important thing that you have learned since you started it? A lot of things, but I definitely learned how to work with the international community. I think right now it's even more impactful, and we see the power of social media and digital technology right now. And I think that it just helps me understand that, I don't have to live in like this New York City bubble that I'm in. I really can just, there really are no boundaries with digital technology. Would you ever consider working full-time on Global Girlhood? Yes, I definitely have considered it. Right now, I'm learning a lot as like a product owner, and I'm learning a lot about technology and consulting. And so I definitely want to use the skills I'm learning full-time. And I definitely implement it in Global Girlhood. I'm just trying to find a way to balance everything while still living in New York City.